Hey y'all, it's me, Niecy Lynn. I hope y'all are having a great morning. This is Friday, Juneteenth. It is going to be Flosstube number 28. If you're returning, thanks a lot. If you're new, this is a channel about mainly cross stitch and other kinds of stitching. We talk about what we're working on, what we finished, and things like that. So, and there goes my clock, of course. I love it, so I hope y'all do too. But I'm gonna jump right in because we had a lot of talk this week. So if you just want to see projects, you might fast forward. But if you have questions, here they are. Jessa said that she loves the red velvet. That's the share this week, red velvet ink circles, and that she might even stitch it for me. I love this, but the mandalas and things like that, the sequencing, anything with a lot of sequencing is really, really hard for me. I don't know why, but that's just not how my brain works. It really messes me up. And so I'll end up Vin Dieseling the whole thing. So, Jessa, you would have to, because I don't think I have it in me to keep it straight in my head. Maybe if I use gridded fabric, that might help, but Sharon, that Cake Man Raven recipe for red velvet cake looks so good. I think I linked it right in the last video. If you're looking for a red velvet recipe, that one looks so good. I didn't get to try it this week. I thought I would, but I did not. Cindy, the Tis the Season, and he will be showing out in a few minutes because he got done this week, is on 28 count even weave. I Rit dyed it, I think with pearl gray, one of the gray Rit dyes. And I just soak mine and squeeze it out and then hang it, let it dry. And if I want it darker, I soak it again. I don't bake mine because I tend to get distracted and burn things up like that. Because you can't really, I guess, I don't know if you set a timer, but I've never done it enough to set a timer. I've tried it several times and I've done it. But for me, it's best just to then use the camel Rit dye or something like that, or just dunk it in the tea and let it dry, because the oven and I get too distracted. I'm not cooking food, so I'm not paying enough attention, and it's bad times. So he is gray Rit dyed even weave, and just the 28 count even weave like you get at, I either got it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, because our Joann's doesn't carry it anything but Ada anymore. So it's just one of those very inexpensive even weaves, and it has little flecks in it. It's brown with little flecks, kind of like fiddler's cloth used to have in it, but that's all it is. I mean, it's super inexpensive. Vicky is tea dyeing some bright orange fabric. I hope that turned out okay. If anybody's done that, holler. I have bleached fabric before and then re-dyed it when it was just like, it wasn't fabulous, but it was usable after that. Michelle says Hats has a series, Hands Across the Sea samplers. When you see Hats, for anybody that's new, Hats is Hands Across the Seas company, and they're samplers. She says they have one that is PDF downloads also. They're great starter samplers. They're just gonna be real small, but they're called Little Gems, like Gems, like rubies, sapphires, diamonds, gems, like that. And so that I went and looked, and they do have some beautiful, beautiful samplers in there that, like, wow, and they're not huge. So some of the Hands Across the Sea are really, really big, and so these aren't. So they might be a good starter for somebody. Viso's, she has her mother-in-law's red velvet recipe, and Gabby in the UK wanted that recipe. So if it isn't a family secret, Viso's, if you would send that on. If not, Gabby Stitches, I did link the Cake Man Raven one. You may have trouble with the red dye though. I know that y'all are a lot more stringent about things that are good for you being in your food. So for what that's worth, you might have to use beetroot or something and not get the super reddish color that we get over here with the red dye. That's probably killing everybody. But the cake looks great, you know. So, oh my gosh, y'all, I'm on the right one. Susie, oh my gosh, I just went in panic that I was reading off the wrong questions. I must have dreamed about it last night. Good Lord. Susie said that she saw my address but didn't want to be a Budinsky. Always be a Budinsky for me. If I do something or say something, y'all tell me, because I literally live my life with no filter. If it comes in my mind, it goes out of my head. And the only thing worse about it is my husband, and just the things in his head are so much worse. So it's a real problem. So please tell me when I do something or say something I shouldn't, or am unsafe, or because I literally, that's how I live my life. But when you said that about not saying something, it made me think about when my sister was in high school. She worked through I worked through the ag work program, and she worked through the work program. I don't remember if it was called DECA, or anyway, it had initials. But she worked at Mitchell's, which was a department store, like Kohl's or Macy's or like this, but just a little one we had in town. And she's always been super thin, super attractive. Well, she wasn't when we were a little kid, she's kind of ugly, but she paid her dues, and she is, once we got big, she's beautiful and always has been. So she's just so skinny and raggedy looking when we were little, just because she's so skinny. But anyway, that's a whole other story. She worked at the Mitchells, and she, back then when you wore your dress, and she had to wear a dress to work, you had to, you're supposed to wear a dress, you had to have on pantyhose. You also, that's part of the dress code. Any of y'all that ain't old enough to remember that, the dress code said you had to wear pantyhose or hosiery, so you couldn't have naked legs. So she had gone on break and gone to the restroom and came back out of the restroom. And this grown man, and y'all, I'm not talking somebody in college, and my sister was in high school. I'm talking a grown-ass, could have been her daddy, grown man, kept following her all around the store. And she'd look back, and he'd be there, and he'd just smile at her, and she's, and she was straightening up clothes on her way back to the front. She's straightening up all the clothes on the racks. And she said he just kept being behind her. It was so creepy. She got to the front, and he kind of veered away. Because it was up to where the front center was, where all the checkout registers were. And the girl she was working with said, oh my gosh, come here. And she jerked the back of her skirt down. And when she'd gone to the bathroom, her skirt, which was a pencil, like a not big volume of skirt anyway, so you wouldn't notice it, but it was tucked in the top. So you could see her whole butt in them pantyhose. She had that skirt tucked into her pantyhose. And that creepy man had followed her all around the store, looking at her butt. And then when he got to the front to check out with his wife, had the audacity to say, oh, I see somebody told you about your skirt. Shame on you. Shame on you, grown creepy man. But when you said, I didn't want to be a Budinsky, y'all please tell me. It's like that. I'm the first one to tell my friends, hey, dude, your slip's showing. Hey, you got broccoli in your teeth, which I'm just going to go ahead and cover this. I have a sore on my nose right there. Sorry, y'all, it's not a booger, and it's not, I know it looks horrible, but I don't know if we hit it in the pool or something, but it's just a little tiny, tiny scab right there on my nose. It's like so tiny, but it's a red tiny scab. So, sorry, there's another rabbit hole, but please tell me. Please tell me. Darlie, the snowflake color on my Tis the Season is right here somewhere. I started out with, and then I had to finish with something else. I finished with just plain old white because I ran out of whitewash. So the last couple of snowflakes, Week Style Works whitewash is what I used for Tis the Season snowflakes. But the last couple I ran out, and I was not gonna wait to get it, so they're white and I can't tell the difference. I hope nobody else can. Amy got a huge box of patterns at a yard sale. I love when y'all tell me that because that's just so much fun. Because I don't like the thought of people throwing them in the trash. They're beautiful, they're fun, we love them. And put them in the yard sale, do something with them so that your kids don't throw them in the trash when you die, because I guarantee you mine will. Because I ain't gonna fool with it. They'll look at their kids, even if they said, can we save those as shoes? They say, no, you can buy you some more when you get ready to stitch them. And that'd be the end of that. So, I'm so glad when y'all find things that make you so happy. Nan says she uses a friction, Frixion, when she's marking her grids and things, and that it even has an eraser. And so then it'll disappear when you iron it. So I thought that's the coolest thing too, that it had an eraser on it, because yeah, I know about that. Vicky needed the mask link for the YouTube video. I put it in the last one, or I tried to, in the description box. If it's not there, let me know that I messed up. Dawn, try 1, 2, 3 stitch for Ocean ABCs. I know Amy found it, I think there, or at Everything Cross Stitch, but Amy was able to find one. So there are some still out there. For fabric, So Easy Sewing in Bristol, Tennessee will ship. The Goods Store in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Amy says they're shipping. FinishAquilt.com, and I'm gonna talk about, she will ship. She has an online fabric store. She also was sweet enough to tell me that Moda is made in the US. So any Moda fabric is made here in the US, so you're probably gonna be able to get it maybe a little faster. You are supporting a US company also, which is great. She's www.finishaquilt.com. And that's also her Instagram is Finish a Quilt, and she has beautiful stuff, just gorgeous, gorgeous stuff on there. And she ships next day, she says. Most days it's ship days, the next day. So those are places, if like me, your Joanne's is Nikki in there. Those are some places that you can get some fabrics from. Kathy asked, do I start and end with a pin stitch? 99.9% of the time. Even if I'm doing Ada, I'll split the weave and go through the center and start with a pin stitch. But if any of y'all have ever got a card from me, my handwriting's like a serial killer, and that's how my stitching is too. I will most times start with a pin stitch. I will most times end with a pin stitch. But sometimes I will weave them underneath. I mean, I am so random. I have the most random brain in the world. And so when I say squirrel, it ain't no joke. So most time I do start and stop with a pin stitch, but occasionally I don't, and I don't know why. It's just, and after I do it, sometimes I'll think, why'd you do that? But I guess, I don't know if the other personality takes over and finishes it up. I don't know how that happens, but it does. It's craziness. Jen says to try red velvet cupcake wine. It sounds delicious, but I have a wine problem. If any of y'all have a winery, I'm sorry, I'm not your good customer. I have tried. My cousin does like wine education things. She has a thing. Laurie has a thing that she teaches you what to pair things with and all. When Micah had her bachelorette party thing, we all went to do aerial yoga on the ribbons. We all went and did that. And then we went to Max's, and it's a wine dive and fried chicken place. It's like super, I don't know. I thought it was like, it's expensive for me. I thought it was expensive. I think there may be still one in Houston. I think the one in Dallas closed. But the fried chicken was great, and the poor guy kept trying to find wine that I liked. Everybody else was fine. They had something they liked and they're drinking it. And he brought me this, no ma'am, try this. Try this, we'll try this way. Y'all, the more wine I drink, the thirstier I get. I don't understand how wine works. Wine makes me thirsty. I don't understand it. So finally, I bet he had brought me 25 things to taste. It's like, look. I said, look here, do you have a shiner back there? Because if you have a shiner back there, you and I can get happy and be happy all night long. But you're gonna wear yourself out bringing me this wine, and I'm gonna think it tastes nasty. It makes me thirsty. And so, yeah, let's just cut straight to the good part and bring me a beer, because I will be happy with my Shiner Bock if you've got one. It's not that difficult to find. It's Texas beer. I love it. It's not like Guinness dark, but it's dark. And I don't like no see-through beer. I'll drink Dos Equis when I have to. The taste is okay, but it just, to me, doesn't have a lot of taste. The lighter beer, the lighter color beer, I like the darker beer. So he was kind enough to bring me a Shiner Bach, and we all got happy all the rest of the night. That was fabulous. Shirley says she has a red velvet crinkle cookie recipe, and I gotta look again. I must have missed it. She said she would send me the link in my email. So I thought I'll go look, and if I can find it, because I thought that sounded really good, a red velvet crinkle cookie. And I'll try to put the link in the description. I tried last week to do some, so y'all let me know if they didn't work. And I want to tell y'all about Diane. Diane had a house fire and lost all her things. I mean, all her stitch pieces, all her patterns, all her this. She was looking for Lady of the Flag. And I'd put out some feelers to people I thought might have had it. And I was having no luck. Lady of the Flag, evidently, is hard to find. But she contacted me and said she found somebody that she feels like she's got her stitching mojo back. So if y'all have any good stitching mojo, y'all be sending it to Diane and her Lady of the Flag, because she has had a rough time of it. She was sick before that, but she found her Lady of the Flag, and they are soldiering onward. So send all the good stitching mojo to Diane. She's getting that started. Casting a Spell colors. I will try to pull it out this week and maybe jump on Tuesday, because I want to fancy my box up, and I'll show y'all how I'm changing it, because I know we're all fixing to start probably stitching on fall Halloween stuff before long. So I think on Tuesday I'll try to grab out my box, my finished box, and show it. And how I'm gonna change, because the pudding boxes for me were real difficult. I mean, super hard for me. And then it's hard to get them in and out still. I had a lot of problems with that. So I have come up with easier for me. I don't know if it's easier for everybody or if it makes any sense for everybody else, but my next box, because I'm gonna do one different color, I'm gonna do different, and that will make it so much easier to switch out the boxes and to finish it out, because holy moly, me and them pudding boxes it was nuts. Dana stitched a freebie from Franny Ritter on the Sulky site. So cute. So cute. You'll have to go over there. It's on the Sulky website, and it's by Franny Ritter. Adorable. Shingles. Y'all, my writing right here is so terrible. I was holding one of the girls trying to write while I was doing these, I think. Oh, no, James Williams was bothering me Saturday morning, I think. Shingle Spring Stitcher. It's talking about timeout for a project. She got timeout on her project too. If you act bad here, you get the timeout. You're just gonna have to get in the timeout, and especially if you do have made me do Vin Diesel, I'm gonna be mad. Nevada Stitcher, her casting a spell box, and you'll have to go look for this. Blackbird Designs has if you wanted to just do your box and put your casting a spell in there, they have another pattern, an additional pattern. It's called Button Box. And you finish it out, and just like here, after you finish it out, and it sits on top of the box. So if you wanted to use it, leave it out year round, and then you would just pull that piece off, and your finished casting a spell is all in there, down in there. So that was really neat, and I'd never seen that before. So thank you, Nevada Stitcher, because I had never even laid eyes on that at all. Lisa, 1968, when I said something about Hoosiers a couple weeks back, watching that movie and stuff, she said that, which made me so happy, where that movie shot is called Memory Hall, and it's, I love old buildings, and it's still there, and now they use it for apartments. I think that's genius. I love when they use old buildings. Y'all could probably Google Waxahachie, 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 Texas. That's where I was born. It's, I'm closer to it actually than I am to Midlothian, but my address says Midlothian, whatever. But it's called the Gingerbread City. We have a lot of old gingerbread trim houses, and our courthouse is beautiful and famous, and our downtown has been saved. And so there's still shops and different things and restaurants and stuff in the old buildings. We have a museum, we have all these things. So I am a huge lover of old buildings. I've always wanted an old house, but James Williams will not go there. So I love that Memory Hall is still being used. So thank you, all you Hoosiers, and thank you, Lisa 1968, for letting me know and for saving that building. Cheryl wanted to think about what fabric to switch to instead of Ada. I usually say 28 count even weave. Even weave like Lugana, Jobelin, or just Monaco over linen. Even if you get the 28 count linen, I would not go straight to linen because linen has slubs in it. And I'll try to find some of these pieces in a minute when we're looking. I thought I could grab one right now, but I don't see it. But that are thicker and thinner, thicker, thinner, thick. So it makes getting used to it the first time, stitching, it makes it hard. So look at Jobelin, Lugana, Monaco. I always say 28 count because then you can do the conversion the same as, what is that? Is that wax? Lord have mercy. My husband. Sorry, y'all. There was another squirrel. There's some blue wax, I think, on my little stool here. It's, Lord have mercy. Oh, my brain. But a couple of weeks back, we were talking about it, and I can't remember which one of y'all suggested there is a 25 count. So look for a 25 count, and then that's going to be 12.5, but then your pattern is going to be a different size. So you're going to have to do the math if you go to the 25. That's one reason I usually just say the 28, because then the 14 count over 1 on Ada, how you stitch, and the 28 count over 2 is the same size. Your fabric and your design will be the same size. So that's the reason I always say try 28 count, but do Jobelin, Lugana, or Monaco, because they are even weave. The warp and the weft are both the same sizes and the same measure, which isn't always the way in linen, and there are slubs in linen that are little fat pieces of thread that make it a little bit harder to make sure your stitches are going to be level and even and things like that. So that's what I would start at. And I have a confession for Turkey Red Tex, who asked about my black micro dot fabric. She was watching some older videos. I love a black micro dot also. And she says she tries to find it, but it's always too big. And that's a problem. So when I was in the resale store and I see a woman's blouse hanging over there that's a black micro dot, if you don't think I didn't just charge right over there and grab that thing off the shelf and come home and cut it to pieces, you'd be wrong, because I did. It was a tiny micro dot and I loved it, and I knew that I needed it for finishing and stuff. And so that's the level of crazy I am. Like if I go in any kind of resale store or things like that, I'm looking at clothes for the purpose of cutting them apart for things I can't find. I know that's probably nuts, but that's what I do. Sarah was asking about my fabric mottling. Like I said, I've said before, I dunk mine and then I let it set. And I mean for 30 minutes to sometimes even overnight. But I'll take it out and let it hang up, just hang it outside. Or if you have a laundry room or something, but it's gonna drip out dye. So you have to be careful. You can't just hang it anywhere because it will drip out dye and it will stain if there's something under it that, you know, can be stained. So I just hang mine outside. And sorry, y'all, my little hummingbird out there caught my attention. I just hang mine outside, and then if I look at it, and so I don't dump my dye. I leave my little dye vat, and it's just a little plastic. I have plastic tubs that I use it for, that are black plastic tubs, that are some kind of, I think lunch meat, something James Williams buys sometimes comes in it, but it's sealed in a container in the shrink wrap, and then it's sitting down in this black tub. Well, I just take and wash them through the washing machine and the dishwasher, and then use them for that. So then I just leave my dye setting until I see if my fabric's the color I want. Then if I need to add more dye to my water, I can make it darker. If I need to just let it sit longer or redunk or whatever. But then I think I squeeze mine out, and I think that makes mottling. I don't just let it drippy. I squeeze it out over the sink, and I have a stainless steel sink, so I don't have to worry about it staining that. But I squeeze it out, and then when it gets dry, then I squeeze it out, then I hang it outside to let it dry, and then I'll bring it back in. If it needs more, then I can redunk. If not, I can just dump my dye out. So I hope that helps. Does that make any sense? I feel like I'm rambling this morning because I don't know why I'm having such a hard time getting myself together this morning, but I did. But it's 8:20 now, but I'm just struggling all over the place. But we will now, I'm going to go to a special part of haul because it's not a haul, it is a gift, but it was of the level of haul, and I was shocked. I don't remember if I told y'all I was looking for little buttons to finish out my Shepherd's Bush flag, which is on its way to a new home. But several of y'all suggested things last week, and I spent forever looking at those adorable baby buttons and all so cute. Well, Gio messaged me that she was going to send them to me, and of course, when I checked the mail Friday night, it was there. So these buttons, she said she was sending me this little button pack for it, and I didn't use the 2 little heart buttons, but y'all, and they are still available on 123 Stitch. A couple of y'all found them. I'm gonna see if I can turn it where you can see them. These little buttons are the cutest things. Now, there are 2 other little heart buttons that are supposed to be here, but this little star mixed in with this thing here, with my little staff thing, my L. And so I could use the red and white button that should have been down here. So I didn't want to put my 2 little tiny heart buttons that are so cute right here and have them all in a row. So I don't know if I'll just put them on here somewhere else or if I'll just save them for something else. And there's a little red star on his hat, and it has this little flower button here, this star, the little adorable bird. Look how cute he is. So cute. So Jill said she was sending me these, and I was so excited to be getting these buttons I couldn't even breathe. And then there was more. So much more. I was dying, y'all. She sent me this beautiful card with a beautiful note inside, all the beautiful little buttons that go on there, and then all this. And I'm gonna try to pick it up here without a phone. It was a huge envelope. And some of these I've never seen. They're so pretty. One by the Drawn Thread called December. It says it's a pocketbook cover, but it would make the cutest little pen pillow thing. Noah's Ark 5 by Plum Street with the little animals. Y'all know I love me some Noah's Ark. Sunflower and Acorns by Beehive Needleworks. This is so pretty. Look at this. I just love it. This little snowman here, Frosty Flakes. She said she cleaned out her craft room. She'd either already stitched them or she had 2 of these. Summer Garden by Country Cottage. Bovinia. This is the cutest dang thing by Plum Street. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Cutest thing ever. These you got to be careful with because it'll show. 2 Prairie Schooler Santa Clauses. So cute. 2 Lizzie Kates, which my Lizzie Kates are still not found after the move. Look at those. Look at that cardinal. Y'all know I love me a cardinal. We'll talk about him in a minute. Satsuma Street Ornament Set number 1. These are so cute. Look at that little Santa Claus be like a triangle. Needle Notions, which I had never seen. I've never seen these, and it is so pretty. I hope these are coming through good. Here again, another little cardinal over here. So cute. Y'all know I love me a cardinal. And then this huge one by Curie Betacure. I don't know. I don't speak French. I wish I did. Which is ridiculous to say because I guess I could put Duolingo on the phone and do it. But it is adorable. These little elves and the Santa and the snowman. Oh, they're so cute. So thank you, Gio, for your generosity for the buttons and then for all the dang extra. But it got me thinking, I have her clean out her craft room. We may do something fun for Jolly July. Everybody's talking about Jolly July. And I'm gonna try to figure out a way for us to do something extra fun for Jolly July because I also have patterns that I've stitched and that I have, you know, some doubles of, not many doubles, but that I've stitched already. So that made me think, well, we'll try to do something fun for Jolly July and fun it up. Okay, I think that's everything for that. Oh, I was gonna show y'all these. Annie got Keena James a sewing machine, little kid sewing machine for Christmas. And so on her special Just Shug Day, when Ari Kyle went with her mama, her mama brought her a little sewing machine, and then she made Annie a little heart pillow. And she was so, it took both of us though, but it is it's like for 6 and up, but it is like the needle's very safe around it. You can't get in it. I don't think you could hurt yourself on it. So, but it was kind of hard to feed through, and we had a little bit of issue, but I'm sure it's because I'm not a super experienced stitcher either. So that may have been part of the problem, but she had a big time and I did too. So yeah. Whips this week. So no haul except all that Gio sent, which wasn't my haul, which is a fabulous gift. Lord of mercy. I am working on my drawn thread in my beautiful windy bag, and I will put the link. I think I got the link actually to work to the, y'all, this thing is this is beautiful. And I think I don't think I grabbed my other red bag. Oh dang it, I'll have to grab it next week to show. But it has my drawn thread welcome summer in here. I don't know, I hope that's coming through some. It is gorgeous. And no more Vin Dieseling, but so I've got my little bird done. I got the geranium basket, the flag except for the white, the other little bird here. So I really just got my beehive here, which is satin stitch beehive, and then the little berries, and then there's a little watermelon that goes here. So we should have a finish on this guy next week. But that wavy navy, that blue, and it does not show up on here very good. All the variation in it, it is so pretty. I'm loving it. So cute. Oh, love. So my threads for it are here, yeah, right here. So they're always in a rat nest, but so I am loving this. And these I've pulled for the watermelon. I didn't like the watermelon color. It was not watermelon-y enough for me. So I'm gonna try some of those colors for the watermelon and see which watermelon color is gonna work. Then we have Their Song, which I got a little bit done on it. I wanted to get more done this week, but we did have a family dinner this week, which made me so happy. We split the family up, my sister and her kids. I guess that's the hardest thing for me with this Corona, is it's nothing for me to have 30 people over here for dinner and love it and be super happy. And we haven't got to do that. I mean, the kids, we haven't been even really doing family dinners, which is just my kids come over once a week. We haven't been doing that very much. We really have been trying to be good, but this is rough. So Annie's birthday is on Flag Day. And so they came over, Annie and Daddy came over and ate Wednesday night for her birthday. And so it was so nice. But my sister and I decided it'd be best if we didn't all get together, if we split it up, so that she'll do her kids with Annie and I'll do mine with Annie, and that way we're not in a humongous group. But it stinks. It stinks. But here's Their Song, and here's my threads for Their Song. And I'm loving stitching on this guy here. I don't know if you can see. So this week I didn't get a lot done. I got this done down here and this started. And this guy didn't get finished out right there, but I'm loving this one. It's gonna be so pretty. Y'all know I love my birds out in the backyard, and I love birds everywhere. And so this one is gonna make me so happy. I'm loving it. It is beautiful. It's a easy stitch. This is, I think it's 28 or 32 count April Brown Bendy is the linen. And I was gonna see if I could find, and I don't know if they'll show up, but there are places in linen that are thicker and fatter. The threads are fatter than they are in other places. So it makes it kind of hard if you're just learning to get used to that kind of a stitch, because you have to work around it. Let me see, I'll see if I can find some more in here, but I'm loving Their Song. I worked on my Health and Peace some. I haven't found any more of these. Like I said, shop owners, Gloria, if you're watching, anybody that has these, I have several people looking for them. It's so pretty. My shop, the Stitch and Itch in Arlington, didn't have any more. Here's my threads for them. I just did the DMC version. And yes, this is how, I tell you, I use a short thread, and if I have a lot of threads like this, I'll just whack the bottom off my DMC and do like this. Because these, I didn't want to put them on bobbins and accidentally get them confused somehow with threads I already had. So that would be the same, you know, okay, here at 522. Well, I have a 522 in there, and if this one's bobbinated also, I don't want to accidentally confuse them. And because it'll be a different dye lot, and it'll be a different color possibly, or absolutely nearly. So if I'm buying threads and I'm gonna do a big project like this and I like the short thread anyway, I'll just whack the bottoms off of them like that. Don't do it if you haven't. Just try a couple, because it is a very short thread, but they don't get tangled. And I like that, because on a linen, any kind of knot on the back or anything is gonna show. And I don't want no knots, no showing through. So here is my Made Health in Peace, and I got this flower finished. There was no top to this flower. You can't see it a whole lot in this light, but I got this flower finished, and then we came over here and went down here. And I think that's about all I got this week, because like I said, we had the family dinner, and then we had something else. I can't remember. Oh, the girls had dentists. We had dentist appointments this week. We had all kind of fun. But I am loving this. I've made the turn to come down, and right back here is halfway. So we're just chugging right along. I will work on this one more this next week, because it didn't get a lot of work this week. So that makes me feel bad, like I neglected my child. I wasn't being good to some of my children. Now, we have a finish. Woohoo! I love a finish better than anybody. And this is my, and it's always so hard to show without showing the whole thing because it's on the pattern, but this is my 'Tis the Season by Blackbird. I did, and I think I got Patricia's link to the blog that showed the color conversion. I will post a pic of it on Insta with the threads I used in there too. But I told you I was gonna put ABCs down here. I wanted it to look less Christmassy. I wanted to leave it up all the time. And y'all know, I don't know if it's just around here or what, but when you see a cardinal around here, I guess it's folklore, I don't know what you call it, but it's your family members, your loved ones and stuff that have passed coming back to visit you. So when I see my cardinals, when I'm walking or when I'm out in the yard or whatever, those are loved ones that have passed. So I usually immediately think of one of my grandmothers or grandfathers, or, you know, my Aunt Lynn, something that at that moment was probably close to my brain. And I really think that's true. Now my husband says then they'd be a demon if they came back from heaven, but he and I fight about this all the time, but whatever. Y'all know I've told y'all all along he has way too much church and not enough Jesus. And so that's what causes that. But I believe that. When I see them, I think that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so, that's Adonia. And I believe that. And so when I see cardinals, it makes me super duper happy. So when I was stitching this cardinal the whole time, I was thinking about that, and I tried to look for some verses that said that, but I don't guess there really is any poems or anything that say that on there. But I went and switched out the words, 'Tis the season to be jolly, that were down here in English or French, and I just put remember me, and then reversed this little piece here down here. We got my initials right there, and I am loving it. I couldn't be happier. This Turkish red just really shows up well. Like I said, you could do these, to me they look like quilt motifs. You could do these in any color to make it like, if you wanted to leave it out all the time in your house and you were like super color oriented about what color things are. But I really like it across the bottom. I use that, here are my colors. And this one that I did the words in is Grecian Gold. And you'll see what a hot mess my threads always are, but that's how I do. And I love, love, love it. Like I said, I just switched this guy here, this way. So they kind of bracketed each other in, kind of guesstimated the spacing and just went with it. I'm not, I'm not super ticky about how things are and all that. Like I said, there's an error in this snowflake here, but I ain't gonna worry about it. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy that it's finished, but I kind of nearly hate that it's finished. This is on that inexpensive even weave. I think that's what it says, is even weave on it. And when you get up really close, you can see there are little flecks that it was tan and brown. It wasn't white, it was tan and brown. And so when I put it in the dye, those little flecks also soaked up a little more, a little less, something, I don't know. And then I squeeze it out. And I guess that's what causes things like this, is where it sets, and then I squeeze it, and then I hang it all wrinkled up. It's wrinkly up when I hang it. So I guess that also changes up the way the dye sits in there. And then I don't iron it till I'm done with the color and completely, when it's dry and I think I like it the way it is and all this, then I will take it and dunk it in the water to be sure I've got out all the extra dye, and then iron it, and when it's all finished. So it's wrinkly until I iron it and it's done, and I'm gonna start putting it away or stitching on it. So this guy made me super, super, super happy. I love him, love him, love him. And I love the Remember Me on the bottom, because like I said, that's what to me, when I see a cardinal, those are my loved ones coming to check on me. See how I'm doing, just check in, let me know they're okay. So, Stacy, Terry, Mel, people, all y'all right now that are dealing with loss, that's what I think of when I see my redbirds, my cardinals out in the backyard. They make me so happy, and I am so happy that he's done. Yes, I did get off, so I don't have a ton here, but I don't ever need a ton to finish. That's just, I don't know, when I finish, I just don't need a whole ton. But yes, I did get off. This should have been up this way, about this far, and had a little bit more, but it was on a scrap piece. I keep all my scraps, and so this fit on there. It's just what was left of another piece, and so it fit and it worked for me. I'm not gonna lace it or anything in the back, so I don't need a lot of excess on there. So, but I'm so, 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 so happy that he's done. I love him, I love him, I love him. So, so happy that he's done. So yes, he made me super duper happy, and now I gotta thank, oh, and the alphabet though, I was gonna tell y'all the alphabet I used is out of Sweet Land of Liberty. I told you I was gonna do the alphabet, but then when I decided to do, let me cover this up. When I decided to do Remember Me, see America here? So the only letter I had to make up was the B, because Alexa, hush. Lord, have mercy, y'all.
Calling with Alexa is not supported on this device. You can use the Alexa app.
Stop, Alexa, stop. I don't know what I said. Oh, Lord, have mercy, God. The things my husband gets me to help my life. So I only had to make up the B here, was all. Because the M is here, and the R and everything, the E, there was everything else here. So I only had to kind of make up the B for the Remember. So it is out, this one's called American Eagle is the name of this one. And I just used those letters. It has an alphabet on the other side for putting, let me see if I can show it. It has an alphabet here for putting your initial, but it's a little smaller. So I just used those words and kind of changed it up to work for me. But the alphabet is out of this one that I love. Okay, so that is, so you can see I made the B up there. The bee, I kind of just winged it. Y'all know I'm the queen of winging it. So that is another finish. So I was super happy about that. I'm starting, I've got 2 to start after I finish Welcome. So I will do this from Ann and Nikki, and I've got my fabric cut here. I'm gonna do it in one piece, just in one little row, like a row of houses. So that's gonna go on here. Patriotic House Trio in the place of my 'Tis the Season, my Remember Me piece. That's gonna go there. And then when I finish Welcome Summer, I've got some fabric cut to do my Summer ABCs. I'm changing the colors out on them. Mine has to be more red, white, and blue instead of like pinky looking like that. So those will be started this week in the place of that. I also wanted to tell this. Darlie had sent and asked me if I had this book. We've talked about this book before. I've had it a long time. James Williams got it for me. They are sometimes hard to find, sometimes affordable, sometimes not. And it had this pattern in it. Wild Hedgerow House. It's by Jane Greenough. And it does. It's beautiful. It has specialty stitches. And Turkey Red Text, you know that I have said I am a whore for a specialty stitch. That ain't no joke. I love it. But you can buy this kit straight from Jane Greenough in online. You can go in there, they'll ship it to you. Shelly tried to see if they would sell through a distributor here so we wouldn't have to, because I know several people have said customs have been an issue. I know Stacy's had some problems with some things. Stacy 911 Stitcher has had some problems getting things because customs and things are really backed up right now from the sickness, as the girls say. But we're gonna start a stitch along on this. It is a big sampler. They've done it on 25 count unbleached Zweigart. Let's see if I can find the stitch count on here to tell you. It has to say somewhere, right? 198 by 182. So it's not huge. I'm going to, it doesn't have so many colors. Let's see if I can show part of this without, okay. It only has this many colors. So the colors aren't a lot, but they are very, they're not quite confetti, but they're close. There's a lot of little, like 3 and then none and 3 and then none. What I think I'm gonna do is use some Sulky and use variegated instead of having to switch so much. Some of my variegated overdyed Sulky. So that's a thought. But anybody that wants to join in, we'll probably be starting it sometime in July. That should give you time to get it here. It was very affordable. I want to say $40, maybe less. Double check me on that. But anyway, she's Jane, Jane Greenoff, Greenoff. It's a beautiful sampler. If you're interested in doing that, we have been talking about doing a sale, and we've just decided we're going for it. And so on that, because it does have the specialty stitches, I'll go through the specialty stitches every week when we do them. Of course, I won't be doing them good. You know, if you, Sassy Jacks has this tutorial going right now, and Kimberly doing a great job on those. And wow, which I wanted to start that and just didn't get around to it. But I'll cover them every week as they come up. I'll try to divide it up, and so we'll cover the specialty stitches, how to do them, because I love specialty stitches. So if you're interested in that, that's fairly affordable kind of a kit, not too bad. I'm gonna, like I said, I have the pattern already, so I'm gonna do mine. I'm gonna do different fabric, and I'm gonna use different thread on there. So that's how I'll get out mine. I think that's everything this week. I have rambled on like a crazy person. We have to do the share this week. The recipient of the beautiful ink circles, red velvet, which is so beautiful, goes to Happy Trekker, Trekker, Happy Trekker. If you'll holler, I'll get it going out to you, this beautiful thing. It is so pretty, and like I said, it only has, they say they use DMC 4210. Somebody asked about that color, which I love and I have and I use it. DMC 4210 is that color that they've used on this, and it is so pretty. So if you're a happy tracker, get your address to me. The share this week is one that Gio sent, and I didn't show it because I had it over here. Is My Lady Liberty. She's adorable. I have her in my stash somewhere. I couldn't get my hands on her to hold up both at the same time, but anyway. So if you want My Lady Liberty, it'll be a good stitch. It's not 86 by 119, so it's not like too humongous, and she is a doll. Look at that little face on her, so cute. So, and it has 8 colors. They did it on 32 count. You could easily work it on Ada. That's 16 count Ada. She'd be gorgeous. So anybody can stitch this beauty. So if you will use the word lady. So if you want to stitch her, make sure you use the word lady in your comments, and she will be the share next week. So I think that's everything, y'all. I'm standing up. I keep standing up, sitting down, chopping off the top of my head. I think that is everything. I think I've covered it all. So I ran a little bit over, but I hope y'all have a great weekend and enjoy your stitching. Bye.